This website was built entirely using vibe coding, a technical term that just means creating websites with artificial intelligence. And don't get me wrong, this is not a simple application. While this looks like YouTube, it is not YouTube. If you look at this place, it says localhost 5173. It's BlackTube, not YouTube. It takes my latest videos and then gives me technical data about my latest videos. It shows me informations like how many views I've gotten, how many likes, how many dislikes I've gotten, how many comments, how many shares, how many watch time minutes, how many subscribers it gained. It can even tell me how many subscribers I lost. It shows me a bar chart of the progress of those videos per day for a long period of time. While the YouTube Analytics software is pretty awesome, it still doesn't do the kinds of analytics that I wanted. So I needed to be able to track my analysis over a long period of time. I needed to see my bar charts over a long period of time so I can know the trend. Some of the things I discovered in my own software, I never discovered it using YouTube software. For instance, I realized that on the first day of my posting the video, I get the highest number of views. And this is pretty consistent among all of my videos. For instance, if you come to this place, on the bar chart, the very first few days are usually the days that hit. The rest of the days are like that. Of course, not all videos like that are like that. For instance, if you go to my older videos, like this one, right, you see that this one actually started low and then goes up. You see, with the YouTube Analytics, you actually don't get that kind of data. I needed a software that could give me custom data that looked like what I really wanted, but it doesn't do a good job of analytics in my opinion. If you pick the whole of 2025, you see, it really doesn't show me that kind of technical data that I wanted. So I decided I was going to build my own, and mine gives me some really cool analysis. So if I switch to my line chart, you can see how my chart flows upwards and all of that. It can even play the video from me on the searches, right? If you go back, you can actually go to other pages and load up all those pages. All of this was done exclusively 100% using vibe coding, but not vibe coding the way you think about it. And so I'm going to explain to you the pros and cons of vibe coding in this video. If you want me to give you step-by-step tutorial on how to use my own method of vibe coding that I used to build this, then you can leave a comment in the section below. So then technically, what is vibe coding? Vibe coding is essentially a scenario where you use artificial intelligence to generate all the codes of your software. I mean, every single code in this place was generated using artificial intelligence. I didn't write any of these codes. AI wrote it for me. And like I said, it's not like the way you think. I'll show you why I said that in a minute when we get to it. So vibe coding is essentially a situation where you generate all of your code and then use it to build a software. It's the latest trend in software development now, and it's causing a lot of craze, and I can assure you many heavyweights are already jumping into it. So everybody is beginning to realize that artificial intelligence is becoming stronger than ever. What that means is that you cannot shake away this new wave of artificial intelligence generating codes for you. There's no way you're going to shake it off. So which means you then have to embrace the changes that are coming. And one of those things is to understand vibe coding. Well, let's start with the advantages of vibe coding. So vibe coding is so awesome because it just opens the space for everyone else to get into the game. Somebody like me could build a software like this with zero programming experiences. It means it has opened the door for so many of us to get into the space. So one of the advantages is that now it brings the level playing field down, right? And it makes a lot of people enter into it. Secondly, it makes you able to work fast. So for instance, you can say, build me a simple website, and then you press enter, and then you just follow the steps like that, and then you essentially have a website that goes on and looks great and looks cool. And then thirdly, it just makes your work extremely extraordinarily fast, right? You don't have to spend several weeks to do something you can do in a day and a half. Some people even build software in less than 3 days now, serious software, right, that work and even publish it. It makes the opportunity to make money even higher than normal, like it used to be, and all of that. The advantages are just numerous. I can't even count so many of them. But what about the disadvantages? One of the very first disadvantages you're going to have is that when you run into problems with your code, especially when you're trying to scale your code, you run into issues that you don't know how to explain. And that is the major disadvantage you're going to have with vibe coding. Because for instance, now in building this software, right, I encountered numerous problems. And one of those problems was API authentication. Now, if you are vibe coding and you think, well, oh, it's just going to do everything for you, just tell it, or build a software for me that connects to my YouTube account, and then I'm just going to see my videos shooting, you forget the fact that there are still some manual steps that need to be taken. For instance, you need to go to Google and get your API. So you need to learn how to go to Google Cloud Console. Google Cloud Console, right, to get your API and stuff like that. There's still some manual steps that you have to take to be able to get your application done. Now, that's usually the most important thing, because with the vibe coding, you have layers of abstraction. So you abstract away all the difficult part of the work, and then you give AI the new work to be done. Well, that is not a problem, but the challenges that are there is that when you run into problems, you then have to do your manual road to the work. Now, if you notice, most people who are like proponents or big voices like me now that says, well, I built this entirely from AI, the truth is, well, that might be correct. The problem is we didn't tell you the part where we had to learn for months HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, right? So when we say vibe coding, it doesn't also mean that you won't do the manual work of learning the basics, right? There are some basics you have to learn before you can really enjoy vibe coding. For instance, how to create a GitHub account. While I was trying to sign in here now, I had those issues, so you still have to figure out how to sign in. You need to know how to still upload things to GitHub. You still need to understand HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, so that when these applications give you things you don't know, you can be able to query that. You see, let me tell you something. You can't just copy code and then stack it into your IDE or wherever it is. You can't just do that. As at right now, you can't do that. The easiest form of that would be to use Cursor AI or Bulk.new to generate codes, but you still need to know where to place them. Say for instance, you go to ChatGPT, and then you say, I want a simple website for my eatery business. Now, ChatGPT is going to give you what you want, right? But you see, it's not just going to give you what you want straight off, right? It says, are you looking for a single page website or multi-page website with different sections like a menu, about us, contact, and online? Also, do you want it built with pure HTML, CSS, or using a framework like React? You see, if you don't know programming or coding, this will stump you. Let's say you blindly say use HTML/CSS and you don't even know what you're doing, so press enter. Now it's going to give you the codes, right? It's going to give you doc HTML, it's going to give you the CSS, it's going to give you everything you need to do. It's going to give you the CSS. So this is the CSS. Now that's the HTML. Now it's even going to give you the instruction of what to do. It says this website uses 3 main sections: about us, menu, contact. The navigation bar is simple. The styles make it. You can modify your content here and there. Would you like to add any more specific features? Now it has finished giving you the code. It has given you the code. What do you do with the code? Right? So you still need to learn HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. That is very important in vibe coding. Just because you're doing vibe coding doesn't mean you won't learn the rules. So, but you see, what you could do is that you learn the rules minimally. So what you can do is go online, take a course. I have a specific course on HTML, CSS, and JavaScript that you can learn, right? HTML, CSS. It's a 12-hour course. Spend that 12 hours to learn HTML, CSS. And then you can start building HTML, CSS with ChatGPT. Don't just vibe code because everybody is doing it. You're going to run into troubles they didn't tell you you're going to run into. So while vibe coding is great, I use it to build this, it is something you have to prepare for. And I want you to realize that there are certain nuances and in between lines decisions that you need to add into your code, and you need to be able to tell ChatGPT how to do it. So now I don't want you to become overly optimistic to say, oh well, vibe coding is easy, I'm just going to run into it, I won't do the rules, right? And at the same time, I don't want you to be pessimistic, because again, the reality is, if someone like me can build a software like this in a short amount of time, it would have taken an experienced programmer to do, then it already shows you that in another 6 months, new tools will come in that will help other people to jump in more. So vibe coding is the thing. You don't have any doubts about that. Don't even think about it for a second. Vibe coding is the future, and you really need to embrace it. It does awesome things if you take your time to understand it, right? So this video is basically just to introduce you to vibe coding. This has been a problem for me, and I use artificial intelligence to solve that problem. And I even get new insights from my data than I used to do. So I hope this video has helped you. If it has, I want you to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, turn on the notification bell, and go into the comment section and tell me what you would like to learn about vibe coding, and I'll do that as a video next.